Canada just replaced America in the global coffee market. It all started quietly, almost invisibly. While coffee lovers in the United States sipped their lattes and Americano cups, enjoying the comfort of their bustling coffee shops, a quiet revolution was brewing up north in Canada. The world was about to witness a seismic shift in the global coffee market, a shift that would surprise everyone, even the industry veterans. For decades, the United States had been the unquestioned leader of coffee consumption and trade. Its cafes dotted every city, from the smallest towns to the largest metropolitan hubs. Americans had developed a taste for both mass-produced coffee and the nuanced flavors of specialty brews. The country not only consumed a staggering amount of coffee, but also influenced global trends in the coffee industry. Yet behind the maple leaves of Canada, something extraordinary was happening. A combination of innovative strategies, consumer demand shifts, and international trade changes began to elevate Canada's presence in the coffee world. It was not just about drinking more coffee. It was about controlling the market, importing ethically, and promoting specialty and premium products. The rise of Canadian coffee culture. Canada's coffee culture had always been strong but understated. Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal. These cities were home to thriving cafe scenes, where local roasters experimented with unique blends, single-origin beans, and artisanal brewing methods. Over the years, Canadians developed a refined taste for quality coffee, and their appetite for specialty beans began to grow. By 2023, Canadian consumers were no longer content with just Starbucks or generic supermarket brands. They demanded ethically sourced coffee, sustainable practices, and flavors that told a story of the farms and regions where the beans originated. Canadian importers responded swiftly, building strong relationships with coffee producers across Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia. Trade shifts and strategic moves, but the story was not just about taste. Trade dynamics played a crucial role. Changes in U.S. trade policies, tariffs, and international sanctions had created hurdles for American coffee importers. Many U.S. companies faced rising costs and supply chain uncertainties. Meanwhile, Canadian importers took advantage of these gaps, negotiating favorable contracts and building resilient supply networks. Canadian companies invested heavily in logistics, storage, and roasting technology. They created direct trade agreements with coffee-growing nations, cutting out middlemen and ensuring a more transparent, high-quality product. These moves not only improved their profit margins but also enhanced their reputation in the global coffee market. Innovation and branding. Canada also mastered the art of branding. Canadian coffee brands positioned themselves as eco-conscious, innovative, and premium. They tapped into a growing global market of consumers who were willing to pay more for quality, sustainability, and traceability. Social media played a pivotal role. Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube became platforms where Canadian coffee brands showcased their roasting techniques, sustainability initiatives, and specialty blends. The international audience was fascinated. Suddenly, Canada was no longer just a country that drank coffee. It became a country that set the trends in coffee culture. The numbers tell the story. By 2025, data showed a remarkable shift. Canada's coffee import market had surged, with premium and specialty coffee accounting for a growing share of global consumption. U.S. companies, grappling with supply chain issues, watched in surprise as Canadian brands expanded their influence worldwide. The volume of coffee imported, roasted, and exported from Canada had increased dramatically, earning it recognition as a major player on the global stage. Some analysts even went as far as to say Canada has quietly replaced America in terms of strategic influence and market control in the global coffee trade. While the U.S. still consumed massive quantities, Canada's strategic positioning, ethical sourcing, and innovation meant it was leading the future of the coffee market. The global impact. This shift had ripple effects across the globe. Coffee-producing countries welcomed Canadian partnerships, seeing them as stable and fair. Exporters in Ethiopia, Colombia, and Brazil began prioritizing Canadian buyers, attracted by their transparency and commitment to sustainable practices. Meanwhile, the U.S., while still a major consumer, had to rethink its strategy. Companies invested in technology, sought direct trade deals, and focused on specialty segments to regain their competitive edge. The coffee industry was evolving, and Canada had emerged as a key driver of this evolution. The people behind the change. Behind this market revolution were visionary entrepreneurs, roasters, and traders. People like Clara Nguyen, a Canadian coffee importer who pioneered ethical sourcing programs, or Alex Thompson, a Toronto-based roaster whose unique blends gained international fame, became the faces of a new coffee era. These individuals combined business acumen with a genuine passion for coffee, sustainability, and quality. They understood that modern consumers demanded more than caffeine. They wanted a story, a connection, and a purpose behind every cup. Conclusion. The rise of Canada in the global coffee market is a story of strategy, innovation, and timing. It is a testament to how a nation can, quietly and effectively, carve a place in an industry long dominated by giants. While America continues to drink and influence coffee culture, Canada has quietly stepped into a role of strategic leadership in trade, quality,